Hi, so today I wanted to update y'all on how I'm doing here in Kansas City. Um, I've been blessed so much lately. I've gotten financial donations this month that just overwhelmed me. Um, the prayer room's been good. There's been a couple of distractions that I'll probably talk to y'all about later some other time, but it's just been really, I've been getting a lot of practical revelation, a lot of revelation on romance for whatever reason. And just the fact that our romance is with God. And I know as our society sort of tells us that marriage and children are the height and the pinnacle of love. And I'm coming to find out that the pinnacle of love is the romance between God and man. And even though that's something that I should have probably already known and that as Christians should know and believe, because that's really what the Bible reflects, it's still, society just tells us that that romance and marriage and children is the height of love. And although those things are good, really the love between you and God is so much more important. And I know that that can be hard, and I'm glad that I'm beginning to realize that before I enter into marriage or children, so that I'm not let down by those relationships and by experiencing those things and being disappointed. So, and really, it makes you understand that even if you don't get married, you don't have children, that you can still be successful and achieve the pinnacle of love and the pinnacle of success by having a God that loves you and experiencing His love for you and sharing that intimacy with God. And that's really what you were made for. You weren't made for marriage, although that's a good thing, and you weren't made to have children, although that's a good thing. But you were made to worship God and to be a friend to God and to love Him. And one day there will be no more marriage and no more children, and it'll just be us and God, and we will be completely satisfied. So, so I've been realizing that. And also, like, I'm sure that there's the danger, not even just of not being married and not having children, but if you get into marriage and it doesn't work out, or you have children and they rebel against you and they break your heart, and just to be rejected by your husband or wife or children. And the fact is that that doesn't mean you're unsuccessful. Those mistakes don't ruin your life, because really being loved by God is what life is all about, and you can always be successful at that, no matter what other areas fail. So, a couple other misconceptions that I wanted to talk about that I've been hearing in conversations with my friends and realizing when I came here that these were misconceptions that I held. And so I wanted to talk about those. Number one is, and this might get me into some trouble with some people, but it's so the truth. When you realize God's character, this is the truth about Him. God's will is not a tightrope. I've heard so many Christians say, they're looking for a sign of what they should do, of God's perfect will, and if I don't do God's perfect will, then everything's going to fall apart. God's will is really for you to love Him with all of your heart, soul, mind, and strength, to love others, and to trust and rely on Him, to walk by faith. I think it says live justly, walk by faith, and love righteousness. Are those the three? Anyway, I think that's Old Testament. But then Jesus comes and He says it's real simple. I just want you to love me with all of your heart, soul, mind, and strength. So if you're considering a move, if you're considering changing jobs, I think that sometimes God will give you a warning sign, and that'll be very clear. You'll feel it, and it doesn't just come once. It'll be like this, oh, I'm not supposed to do this. Oh, I'm not supposed to date him. Oh, He gives you warnings. Like, I don't think that's a good idea, my daughter. But as far as making choices, like if I wanted to move to Kansas City, or if I wanted to live in Nashville, or whatever, it's really about, are you loving me? Are you loving others? Then you're in my will. And that's really the truth of it. We don't have to be so afraid of stepping outside of His will and getting struck by lightning. That's not the way that He is. He's a father, and He wants you to make choices on your own. Okay, so, and then the other one is kind of connected to that, and it's just about making mistakes. Patricia King, I heard her on a teaching the other day when I was running, and she was talking about having children and how when they fall, when they're trying to learn to walk, when they fall, you don't say, "What did you do? What are you thinking? Why did you tried to walk and you failed?" That's not, you're a good parent. You don't do that. Well, God's the same way when we make faith choices. So if you're worried about giving to you want to give to someone, you want to be generous, you want to practice generosity and make a faith choice, God isn't going to say, "Oh, that wasn't my will. That wasn't the right thing to do, so you're going to not be able to pay your bills this month." No, I mean, he'll bless you. He'll be overjoyed that you made that faith choice. So there was that. And then another quote that I heard is that really has stuck with me is how walking is just continually being imbalanced. It's a constant state of imbalance. That's what walking is. So if you feel like you're not completely balanced, you feel like walking by faith is unstable, it is, and it's supposed to be. So, but just know that you're secure in His love. And anytime you think about a choice, think about, okay, let's just say that I'm a kid. Pretend you're 9 years old, and I have the best father in the whole world. And then think about the choice that you're about to make. I mean, I had an experience, the food here was making me sick, and so I wanted to go buy some food. And I was standing in front of the gum, because we chew a lot of gum here. And I wanted to buy some gum, and I share it with everyone too. And I was just standing in front of it, like, should I spend this money? Because it's like $2 for a big pack of it. And that same thought occurred to me. Okay, what if you had the best dad in the whole world, and he had a lot of money, and he was really generous, and he loved you with his whole heart? Would he say that you could have the gum? And I mean, that's not. It's hard. You have to have a relationship with him. You really do, as him as Abba, him as your daddy. You really have to form that relationship, because in that same way, lately, I haven't been shopping. I haven't had the desire to go shopping. Like, he's making me live more fasted, but at the same time, I feel more freedom in times like that, where I can go, wait, okay, what if I had the best dad in the whole world and he loved me so much? So anyway, so that's how everything's going. That's not the full update, but I just wanted to talk about those misconceptions because I think they're really important to get out there. So thank you, everybody, for your support and your prayers, and I'm lifting you up in prayer, and have a great night. Bye.